Welcome to Audio Able, an extension of our blog at Able United. We know there are a lot of resources available, and navigating them can be overwhelming. So we created this series to help you. We'll take a deeper dive into the important issues and topics affecting the disability community. We'll also get to hear from guest speakers who serve or represent individuals with varying disabilities and experts on available resources. We hope you'll spend some time with us to listen in. Now, let's get right to it.
Happy New Year, and welcome back to another episode of Audio Able, where we dive into the world of financial empowerment and share success stories within the disability community. I'm one of your hosts and Able United spokesperson, Sam Ettinger-May. If you're viewing this episode on our YouTube channel today, I'm conducting today's interview in my home office. I'm wearing a blue shirt and I have black headphones on, and I'm speaking into a microphone. In today's episode, we'll be discussing how individuals with disabilities and their families can enhance their financial independence and establish a plan for the new year. Today, we have a special guest joining us with a wealth of knowledge and financial planning and a dedication to serving various communities in the southeastern United States. I'm thrilled to introduce Edward Kemm, CLTC, which stands for Certification for Long-Term Care, a private wealth advisor who specializes in assisting retirees, families with children with special needs, first responders, and business owners. Ed, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you for having me today, Sam.
Absolutely. Thank you. To kick us off, what are some tips you'd give us and to our audience to unlock their financial independence and establish a plan as we begin this new year?
Well, Sam, as you know, special needs planning is near and dear to my heart. I have a 21-year-old Down syndrome girl, and I am active in my community advocating for people with special needs. I'm a Special Olympics coach, and I am the past chair of the Arc of the Treasure Coast. And through my different experiences, professionally as well as in the community, I've seen many coordination gaps and missed planning opportunities that people are not aware of. So I try to bring my experience and expertise to help other families like me. And as you mentioned, we are in the new year, and thus many families are thinking about their New Year's resolutions. And one of those may be, it's time to look into planning for our child. Now, I believe a family should take a comprehensive approach to their planning, ensuring that there's a plan for just the parents and their children. But sometimes I get asked, what can I do that's maybe not as complicated or quick and easy that I can get a head start into saving for my child?
Right.
And when this happens, an ABLE account may be an appropriate way for families to start saving.
Absolutely. And can you give our listeners some tips on things that they should consider when they're opening an ABLE account?
Sure. I think the first thing they should all do is begin with a budget. Without knowing where they are spending, we can't begin to start saving.
Mhm.
Everyone should have at least $1,000 emergency fund, and ideally a 3 to 6 month emergency fund prior to investing. So if you're having some difficulties understanding where you're saving or how much you can budget, there's many apps out there today that can help you. Your bank, or just look on your favorite app store. There'll be budget apps there that can help you.
Absolutely.
The next thing I would do is establish savings goals. Consider your short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals. And then 3, I would say determine the investments that make sense for you and establish your risk tolerance. So you can align your savings goals with your investments. And 4th, know the purpose of your investments and set limits. Know how much you want to save in an ABLE account versus other options. Then it's very essential to review and monitor your investments.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's super helpful, especially as we start this new year and everyone is starting to really think about the ways that they're going to save, in the new year. Now, can you tell us your experience in opening an ABLE account?
Sure. When I opened my ABLE account, it was super easy. I think it literally took me 10 minutes to do. And I love the ABLE account because it grows tax-free if it's used for qualified expenses. And you can invite friends and family to contribute towards your goals. So there's a maximum for 2024 of $18,000 you can put into an ABLE account, but sometimes as the individual family, you don't have the resources to do that. So inviting friends, family, aunts, uncles, grandparents to contribute on the behalf of your child makes a lot of sense. So that's I use that, for our child when someone's like, hey, I'd like to give, Jackie some money for the holidays or something. I say, I have a great idea. Why don't we put it into the ABLE account and let that money grow tax-free for her for use at another time. The other thing that
Absolutely.
was very easy about the ABLE account was just the investment options. So if you're a novice, you have portfolios that are already built for you that are based on risk, or there's other options for you if you want to kind of do it yourself. So it was, for me to go in, set up my account, pick my investments. It was 10 minutes, easy to do, and I'm very happy that
Yeah, absolutely. And going back to with the gifting page, we if anybody has any questions on how they can set up their gifting page, we have a step-by-step tutorial on our website. So it's super easy to do and be able to send that out, like you said, for people to give you money for birthdays and holidays coming up. So definitely want to encourage all of our account holders to set up gifting pages, to give gifts that way instead of actual physical presents. So absolutely love that you all, take advantage of that offering. Now, Ed, can you tell us when a parent should start considering taking their planning to the next level?
great question, Sam. Typically, parents begin to take their planning more seriously when a child reaches around 14 years age, and they start to consider what the child's life will look like after the child completes school. However, Sam, this is not a hard pass. And if a parent has a medical issue, right, they might want to speed up their plan. Or
Mhm.
they may have a relative that wants to assist in the funding for their child. These are great times to consider doing planning early. So it depends on each family when is the right time. But again, typically around 14 years of age is when parents really start to get serious about the plan. So it all depends on the family and what people are looking for. But at the end of the day, everyone should have.
Absolutely. Yeah, and these are such great tips, and Florida's qualified ABLE program, which is ABLE United, believes that every individual with a disability deserves the opportunity for an independent life. And with these tax advantage savings and investment accounts, thousands of Floridians with a disability can now secure their future without impacting their benefits. Now, Ed, can you share an example of why it's so important to have a financial plan in place?
I think it's easy as a parent of a special needs child. We have an enhanced responsibility to care for our children. So the question is, can you afford not to have a plan?
Mm.
So after getting started with your Eagle account, you may want to address the many what ifs in special needs planning. And this includes things, the questions that I get from people really comes around how much is needed to fund future expenses that are not part of government benefits? Uh, what happens if there's a premature death of the spouses? Uh, how does inflation or medical costs, the rising medical costs, impact my number of what I need to fund, right? How are the assets administered? How do I protect those assets? Do I need a trust? How is it funded, right? How does my child's plan impact my retirement, right? So if you're asking these questions, consider a professional advisor. If it's me or somebody else.
Absolutely. Yeah, those are such good, what ifs to think about. And as, our listeners here are starting to think about the new year and how they can really establish that financial plan, definitely want to encourage you to ask these questions to yourself and then, put that plan into place. Now, we love to close with this question. If someone were to ask you for one benefit to opening an ABLE account, what would it be?
Well, I can tell you it is super easy. And why wouldn't you want to start doing something that's one, super easy, and you get the benefit of having those assets grow tax-free and used for qualified expenses. Um, for years, we didn't have an option like this. And recently, Congress has enacted a way for us to start saving for our special children. So from my perspective, this is very similar to a college plan or a retirement plan for your special needs child. And, you know, why wouldn't you want to take advantage of that? So
Absolutely.
I would say the benefits, one, it's very easy to get started. You can put yourself on a monthly or, a frequency of what you want to invest, and those assets will be there later for future expenses.
Absolutely. Now, Ed, it was such an absolute pleasure to sit down with you today for another episode of Audio Able. And we want to take a minute to remind our listeners that the information discussed during this episode was for general information purposes only and does not constitute tax or investment advice. We hope our listeners learned something new today. As we've discussed in today's episode, now is the perfect time to unlock your financial independence. Open your Able United account today at ableunited.com. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Osaic Wealth Inc., member FINRA/SIPC. Osaic Wealth Inc. is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth Inc. 2874 Southwest Brighton Way, Palm City, Florida 34990.
Well, that's it for now. Have topics you'd like us to address? Interested in sharing a resource? Drop us a line at info@ableunited.com. Thanks for listening in, and we'll catch you next time on Audio Able.